everyone and welcome to a brand new video. I'm your host Deeper Jungle, and today I'm going to be doing another Call of Duty commentary. And for today's commentary, I'm going to be doing a weapon guide on the grease gun submachine gun here in Call of Duty World War II multiplayer. So of course, hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Weapon Guides of World War II. And of course, in today's video, I'm going to be doing an episode on the grease gun. And if you guys are new to the series and you want to know what goes on in this series, and that's of course, I do a weapon guide on a specific weapon in Call of Duty World War II. For example, the grease gun, and I go over the stats as well as a created class and how you should actually play with that created class here in Call of Duty World War II. So yeah, now that I got the intro out of the way, let's actually dive right into the video. Alright guys, now I'm going to go ahead and talk about the stats of the grease gun here in Call of Duty World War II. The in-game description of the weapon is an automatic SMG with low recoil and a steady fire rate. The damage profile of the grease gun is 35 damage up close, dropping off to 23 damage at distance. Weapon class is of course a submachine gun. Magazine size is 30 rounds and 45 with extended mag. Starting ammunition is 30 rounds in the magazine and 90 in reserve. Maximum ammunition is 30 rounds in the magazine and 180 in reserve. Rate of fire is 554 RPM and 582 with rapid fire, as well as the fire mode is fully automatic. Alright guys, so now that I got the stats out of the way of the grease gun, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the created class that I have for today's video. Alright guys, so as you can see on your screen right now, I have the created class for today's video, and of course I'm going to be using the airborne division. My primary weapon is going to be the grease gun, as well as I have extended mags as well as rapid fire on the weapon. My basic training is going to be hunker. My secondary weapon is going to be the revolver with quick draw, as well as my lethal grenade is going to be the sticky bomb. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit more in depth about this created class. Now the reason why I'm going to be using the airborne division, and that is just because I want to be able to put on a suppressor on my grease gun, as well as I'm going to be using rapid fire because the grease gun has a pretty slow fire rate compared to any of the other submachine guns, so that's the reason why I decided to put on rapid fire. I'm going to be putting on extended mags, and that's just because I noticed that with the grease gun, since it has a slower fire rate, if you actually put on extended mags, you can take out a lot of people with one magazine, as well as if you actually have rapid fire, it's going to be useful to have extended mags on it, as well as of course I can put on a suppressor since I'm going to be using the airborne division. My basic training is going to be hunker because I don't want to be blown up by grenades, as well as I noticed that the grease gun has a pretty fast reload time, so I noticed that you don't really have to run hustle if you don't want to, as well as my secondary weapon is going to be the revolver with quick draw, and that's just because it's a really good secondary weapon. I only got it a couple days ago, so why not run it, as well as I'm going to be running the sticky grenade, and that's just because it's a really good grenade here in Call of Duty World War II, and I personally like it more than the standard MK2 fragmentation grenade. So yeah, overall I really do like this created class for the grease gun. I noticed that when I was actually trying to get gold camo on it and going for diamond submachine guns, this was a really good class if I actually want to get the double kills as well as the bloodthirsties that I need to get if I actually want to get this gun gold. And this created class is actually really good if you're going to be playing on shipment 1944, which actually came out to all users yesterday at the time you're recording this video. So yeah guys, now I'm going to go ahead and talk about how you should actually play with this created class in Call of Duty World War II. Now this created class that I made, it's built to be a very rush heavy fast paced created class because of course since I decided to put on rapid fire, you can actually take down enemies pretty quickly with the grease gun. I noticed that a lot of people when they think about using the grease gun, they think about it as being a very unreliable weapon, being that it shoots really slowly and it can't really compete against weapons like the WAF or the PPSH at close range. However, if you actually decide to put on rapid fire, it actually can and kind of behaves a little like the PPSH-41. Overall, you can rush with this submachine gun, and actually the good thing about the grease gun, and that is you can actually use it at close range. However, since the damage on it is actually really good, if you actually tap fire the weapon, you can actually take out enemies at medium to somewhat long range, so that's actually a really good attribute of the grease gun. So yeah, in summary, the grease gun with this created class is actually really good, and I would highly recommend that you go ahead and check it out. The grease gun is a really underrated submachine gun in Call of Duty World War II. A lot of people really overlook it because it's the first submachine gun that you unlock. However, I would highly recommend that you go ahead and use the grease gun. It's a really good SMG, and if you were to go ahead and actually use the grease gun, I would highly recommend that you try out this created class. So yeah guys, that's gonna conclude today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to drop a like on it down below, as well as subscribe for more Call of Duty World War II weapon guides like this one. We are on the grind to 1,000 YouTube subscribers, so if you guys would like to subscribe, that would really help me out. out. So yeah, that's gonna conclude today's video. I hope to see you in the next one.